Hi, and today in this tutorial we are going to do a hungry caterpillar cake. For this we are doing it on an 8-inch round vanilla sponge, which has already been buttercreamed and set in the fridge. You will need some white icing and green icing and colour icing for your fruit, so green for apples, pears, red for strawberries, orange for obviously orange, etc, etc. You will also need some fruit templates, which I've already cut out and got the templates off of Google. So let's get started with showing you how to do a hungry caterpillar cake. So the first thing you will need is some white icing. I'm actually going to try icing from Lidl's today. Our Lidl's in town, I've started selling icing. They only sell it at Christmas and Easter time. So I'm going to give this a go. It's also a lot cheaper than obviously Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Morrison's, wherever you go. As in the fact that a kilo of icing in Sainsbury's is £2.50. And this is actually £1.99 a kilo. So we're going to give this a go. And I don't need to colour up this icing because our main bulk of icing for our cake is going to be white. So I'm just going to need this just to get it a little bit more pliable. By all means, for an 8-inch you could, and it's white, you could really use the already rolled icing. And a great one for saving time. So I'm just gonna quickly knead this. So it's at a rolling consistency. I'm just going to put that one on top and then I'm just going to knead it all in together. Now we're just going to roll out our fondant. A few little white, black bits in our fondant, but we can just pick them out. And we're just going to roll and turn, collecting the corn flour as we go. And I'm just going to try and keep it into a kind of rounded shape. You can see I'm quarter turning it, pushing it back into shape, and then rolling it again. And obviously the bigger the cake, the more fondant you will need. If you're doing a 12-inch round, you'd probably need about 1.5 kilos. But like I said, this is going to be for an 8-inch. And I think we are nearly there. So here we have our 8-inch round. And this is on a 10-inch, no, it's on an 11-inch board. I'm just going to check to make sure the icing's big enough, which it is. I'm going to take my rolling pin and I'm just going to roll up so I can get it onto my cake. And then I'm just going to check and make sure that we're all clear to go. Please don't be frightened of taking your icing off and putting it back down again. And now we're just going to, using our hands, let's move this over there, we're just going to rub in and rub down the sides. Now you want to work pretty quick doing this because we don't want the icing to dry out. But don't be scared to give it a little tug and to manipulate it to where you want to go. And I'm just using my fingers and my palms of my hands and the heels of my hands just to push it in, and so that it's covered all the way around. Now I'm going to get my smoother and we're just going to go and smooth off the edges. And we're just going to cut. We can always come back and trim up if necessary. I'd rather you cut a little bit out, so say like that, and then you can just start coming in gradually. So as you can see, I've made up just a quick template, just using baking paper, parchment paper, an orange, a pear, an apple and a strawberry, and you can do it on card, but I'm going to use the parchment paper for this. And I've just set that aside, and I've just made up some orange, some yellow, coloured up some yellow fondant. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll this out because we want to make our sun first to go onto our cake. And we want quite a vibrant colour, as this is a kiddie's cake and we know that kids love colour. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cutters. I've got loads of different size cutters in this box. I bought this at Amazon, so you can get them, and I only think it was a couple of quid. So I'm just going to mark up on my cake just roughly the size of the one I think that I want to use. And then, out of the way, we're just going to see how easy that was, rather than you trying to draw a circle yourself. You could use a glass if you don't have these. You can use a glass, or you could draw a circle onto the parchment paper or whatever, something that would cut you could use as well. So I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to cut it in half, and I'm just going to place my sun, and I think around here we're going to do brightly coloured balls. So I'm just going to, I've got my water in a jar over here, and I'm just going to use my paintbrush just to stick where I think my sun will be. And then all I'm going to do, again, not wasting, going to use the same piece of fondant that we just cut, and I'm just going to cut just a few little strips out. Now I might need some more in a minute, but we can always cut them again. I'm going to cut that to size, and then I'm just going to cut like that. And again, we're going to take our water, and this time we're just going to we want it to look like a sun, so we're just going to place our lines on. And I'm doing this just in rough. You can do it, take your time over it. I'll keep this because we can make some balls out of it later. So here I've got some different colours. I have black, red, I don't need the yellow, green, two different types of green. One for our pear and one for our apple. And I've made up some orange, as you can see by my hands. So I'll just give my hands a little wipe. And so what I'm going to do is we're just going to move these to one side. And I'm just going to start with my strawberries, I think. Ooh. I'm just going to place some corn flour down, and we're just going to roll this out, and then I'm just going to cut out. I suppose you could really use a heart shape cutter for this as well, and I'm just going to pop it off. So there's our strawberry, and then what I'm going to do is brown or black. I've got some edible food pens here, as you can see. I picked these up from my local cake shop, but you can pick them up from any cake shop, or you can buy them online. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark in some brown bits so it looks like a strawberry. And then I'm just going to take my cake and I'm just going to take my icing, pop a little bit of water on, and then I'm just going to line that up like so. And then I'm going to, with my fingers, just take a little bit of the black. You could use brown. Just going to roll it so it's more workable. Then I'm going to take a little bit, and I'm just going to cut it. And with my fingers, I'm just rolling it out. And then I'm going to cut a little bit again. And I'm just going to pop that on top. Now I'm going to take some of my green, and I'm just going to quickly roll this out. I don't want a lot for this bit. I'm going to take my cutter, and I'm going to leave that to the side but already rolled, because we can then do our apple with it next. And I'm going to take my cutter, and I'm just going to cut some diamond shapes or triangular shapes out. For the leaves. Again, like so. You could play with it, use a cutter if you wanted, but we're just going to leave it like that for a moment. Then I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to put that bit over there. I'm going to roll this out a little bit more. Not too much more, just a little bit. And then I'm going to take our apple. And I'm just going to do exactly the same. And I'm going to pop that off. I'm just going to clean up the edges a bit. I'm just going to indentate there a little bit, I think, just to make it look. Then I'm going to take my water again. And then I'm going to pop it onto my cake. Again, with the little bit of icing that we already rolled. I'm just going to cut a bit off. Let's roll it. Pop it onto our cake, as you can see. And there's our apple done. And now I'm going to roll out some orange. And again for this we're just going to take one of our, no, we're going to use, sorry, I made a template, so we'll use the template. And we're just going to put the template down. And we're just going to cut the template out, like so. And we'll load this to one side over here, because we'll need to make another orange in a little while. And then again, just using our brown, we're just going to create that little bit that oranges have at the top. And we're just going to take our water again, and we're just going to pop it on, like so. So you can see that it's starting to take shape. And we're just going to roll this out again. If you find that the icing starts sticking, just put a little bit more corn flour down, that's fine. And we're going to just cut this out. And I'm just going to tidy up. That way. And again, we're just going to take a little bit of water. You don't need a lot of water. And we're just going to pop that on. Again, taking a little bit of icing from earlier. And I'm just going to manipulate that to go over the side. And you can see that it's starting to represent all the fruit. Now again, I'm just going to roll this a little bit thinner. And I am going to do this one freehand. I'm just going to take a triangle. And I'm just going to measure that up to our cake, like so. I just want to see if I need to take any off. I'm going to take just a bit off at the bottom. And I'm going to put that to one side. And with my black marker this time, make sure I get the right side. These have got two sides, a thin and a thick. So I'm just going to take the thin side and I'm just going to pop some little pieces of seeds, and by now I can guess, you can guess where you're actually going to make the watermelon. And I'm going to take another piece of our darker green fondant. I'm just going to cut, and we're going to put this bit over here. And then this bit we cut off. I just want to get it to that thickness really. I'm going to set that bit over there. And I'm just going to use my knife just to manipulate the edges a bit. And we're going to stick this onto our cake. Just using water. You can use edible glue, but water doesn't cost anything. And I'm just going to pop this one here. Like so. And we're going to move round and we're just going to finish them all off now. So I will just repeat the apple, the orange and the fruit. So I'm going to take some of our orange first. And I'll quickly show you how to make our balls. So just need the orange, and then you can start rolling it. Take that bit off with your palms of your hands first. But then if you go on to using your smoother, and I'm not quite sure if I have done a tutorial on this yet, but the smoother kind of elongates the icing. And then all I'm doing is just going to chop off. Set that to one side. I'm going to take a bit of our yellow and I am going to do exactly the same. I'm going to trim that one off. And I've just cut them for now. We can sort out the size in a minute. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to make the balls. But I'm just too impatient, so I just do it that way quickly. And now we're going to take our red. And then we'll make up the balls. So we literally just roll them in our hands and then using some water. But what I like to do first is I just like to put them on our cake first. So as you can see, our balls are all on. And now we're going to concentrate on doing the caterpillar. So to make our caterpillar like we did, I took some green fondant and I took 3 different colours of green fondant and I mixed them up just so, I don't know if you can see very well, just so that we get the kind of pattern, like a marble effect. And so then what I did was I got out a bit of fondant, I just worked it into a, kneaded it quickly, and then with my hands I just rolled it into kind of like a sausage kind of shape. I trimmed off the ends, and then you could have it like that and then score lines in it, but what I did was I cut discs or circle, yeah, just cut circles in it. I took the bits that I cut, and then what I did is I just, using my countertop and the heel of my hand, I just pushed down, so I've got kind of like a disc shape, also so that it stands up. So I did that with all our discs, like so. And then what I did was I stuck them together. These are a little bit bigger than the ones that I did. Just so that we get the semi-arch of the caterpillar, and like I said, if I just pull them apart, I can show you on this one as well. So I squished some 4 together, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. But with this one, as you can see here, I just left it up slightly. So, and again with that one, just so it gives the caterpillar that kind of arch. So as you can see here as well, it just gives the effect of it being a bit more, just a little bit more arched up, so it looks like it's crawling along. Like so. Then I took a red ball of fondant and we just rolled it in our hands just to give it that edge, just give it the look. And then I took yellow fondant and I made 2 little balls and I pressed them down with my fingers, and then I did exactly the same with the green. So about fingers today, so that we've got our eyes. And then with the green here, I rolled it into a, let me show you with a little bit of green. So I got the green and I just rolled it, probably a bit too much actually, just rolled it, and then I made kind of like a tear shape, and then I just pull it on, and then I just pushed it on like so. And then again with our black, and I can show you that with the green as well, I just took a bit of the green, or sorry, of the black, just to make like little antennae, and I just put them on like that. And then we just take this, pick it up, and we just pop it onto our cake like so. So you can get the rough idea of how I made the caterpillar. And as you can see, if I bring that over now, you can see that this takes the shape of the caterpillar. I really hope you enjoyed our tutorial on this cake. If you did, please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the button below. Alternatively, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram with Cake Decorating with Danielle. And thank you for watching.